simplify 213 to base 4 times 23 to the base 4. Now to simplify this multiplication, there are a couple of methods you could use in simplifying this multiplication. So I'm going to show you two of the techniques I know in simplification of multiplication of two numbers in a different base other than base 10. So let's go ahead and let me show you the first method, which is a general method anyway. So let's call this method 1. So I'm going to call this the general method. So what I'm going to do in the first method is that what I'm going to do is this. The idea is this. So I'm going to convert each of the number. I'll convert 213 to the base 4. I'll convert to base 10. I'll convert 23 to base 4. I'll convert that to base 10. So whatever I obtain, I'll multiply the two numbers. Then I'll now convert back my answer to base 4. So that's the idea. So I want to do 213 to base 4 times 23 to the base 4. So let me go ahead and convert this to base 10 first. So you have 213 to the base 4. So I want to convert this to base 10. So you recall in one of the videos I did past, to convert this to base 10, you begin to give each of the digits, you label them with different indices. So starting with the first one, the one at the right hand side, you start with 0. So this is going to be 1, while this is going to be 2. So then you have 2 times, so you have 4 to the power 2. It's going to be 4 to the power 2. Then you close the bracket, then plus, then you have 1 times 4 to the power 1. That's 1 times 4, so times 4 to the power 1. Then plus 3 times 4 to the power 0. So this is what we have. And then this is just going to give you 2 times, now 4 to the power 2 is going to give you 16. So you can close the bracket, plus 1 times 4 to the power 1 will give you 4. Then plus 3 times 4 to the power 0 is going to give you 1. So we can simplify this as 32, plus this is going to be 4. And then 3 times 1 is going to give you 3. Now when you add this up, 32 plus 4 plus 3 would give you 39. So similarly, we'll convert this to base 10. So this is going to be 23 to the base 4. So to convert this to base 10 again, we begin to label the digits with the indices starting from 0 at the right hand side, and then we keep on increasing towards the left. So the same manner, you have 2 times, you have 4 to the power 1, that is this 4 here to the power 1. So you close the bracket, then plus 3 times 4 to the power 0. So this is what you have. So this is something as 2 times 4 to the power 1 is 4. Then plus 3 times 4 to the power 0, that is 1. So this is going to give you 2 times 4, that is 8, plus 3 times 1, that is 3. And then 8 plus 3 is 11. So now I have my two numbers converted to base 10. So in other words, the multiplication of the two numbers, that is 213 to the base 4 times 23 to the base 4. Now when you multiply these two numbers in base 10, now in base 10, so our solution is going to be, so what you're multiplying is 39. That's going to be 39 times 11. Now 39 times 11 is going to give you 429. Now the 429 you obtain here is actually in base 10. So let's just make this a little fancier. So this is base of 10. But our aim is that when you look at the numbers, the original numbers, you observe that their base is 4. So to find our final answer, we need to convert 429 back to base 4. Now to convert 429 back to base 4, all we need to do is just follow the same procedure like you're finding the prime factorization of 429. So you begin by writing 429, then we draw this. So since you are converting 429 in base 10 to base 4, so we're going to use the divisor 4. Now 4 in 429 is going to give you 107. Remainder remainder 1. So again, you keep on using 4 until you get to the lowest the last number. Just see the way I do it. So 4 in 107 is going to give you 26, remainder 3. So similarly, so let's not confuse things here. So similarly, you have 4 in 26, you have 6, remainder, that's 4 times 6 is 24. From 26 you have 2, so this is going to be remainder 2. Also you have 4, you have 4 in 6 is going to give you that is 1 remainder 2, as 1 remainder 2. So for the last case, by convention, we'll just say 4 in 1, you'd write 0 remainder 1. So you keep on doing this until you get to 1. Now when you get to 1, so by convention, this is the way to find to round it up, because 4 can't go in 1, so you write 0, then you write remainder 1. So to write for our final answer, we read from bottom to the top. So that's going to give us 1 2 2 3 1. So in other words, 429 in base 10 is equivalent to 1 2 2 3 1 in base 4. So this is our answer. So in other words, when you multiply 213 to base 4 times 23 to the base 4, so your answer is just going to be 1 2 2 3 1 in base 4. This is the first method. But then you observe that this is supposed to be an exam, and then you might not really have so much time to spend in making things fancy, and then more likely you might make mistakes in doing things like this most of the time whenever you know you're time conscious. So another method is this, which I rather prefer. This is a method 2. So this is the second method. Now what you do in the second method is this. Since we know we are multiplying 213 and 23, we are multiplying in base 4. So in other words, we're going to work in modulo 4. So you work in modulo 4. So that's what we're working in right now. So we want to work in modulo 4. I'm going to explain this to you right now. Now what exactly do I mean by what I'm saying here? So what you want to multiply is you're multiplying 213 in the base of 4. Let's write that down. In base 4 times 23 in base 4. So how do you carry out this operation? Now anytime, for example, if you're working in base 10, you see that you observe that the highest digit you can obtain is 9. And that's because you're working in base 10. So similarly, if you're working in base 4, the highest digit you can obtain is going to be 3, and that's because you're working in base 4. So your similarity is there. So let's see how I'm going to do this. So now you have 3 times 3, like you carry out the long multiplication. You have 3 times 3, so 3 times 3 is going to give you 9. So 3 times 3 is 9, but what you write down is this. Now 9 divided by, since you're working in modulo 4, 9 divided by 4 is going to give you, this is 2 remainder 1. So the quotient, that is the quotient, you write the quotient, erase it, then it's the remainder you write down. So the remainder you have is 1. Did you observe what I did here? 3 times 3 is 9, but what you write down is 2 remainder 1. Now 2 is going to be carried while the remainder is written down. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, that is 5. So you have 5. So because 5 is more than 4, you carry out the same division again. So you have 5 divided by 4. So this is going to be 1 remainder 1. So we said the quotient, you carry the quotient, and the remainder you write it down. Again, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, you have 7. So let's see. 7 is greater than 4, so we'll go through the same process again. 7 divided by 4, and this is going to give you 4 in 7 is 1 remainder 3. So you write down, you carry the quotient. This is the quotient here. You carry the quotient and write down the remainder. So since there's nothing here, this is like 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So the same thing happens for the bottom. So 2 times 3. So for the next one is 2 times 3, which is 6. So 6 is more than 4. So, and then 6 divided by 4 is 2. Sorry, that's 1 remainder 2. So we write the remainder, that is 2. And then we have 1 out. Now 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So we write 3. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 is is equal to 4. So we go again, 4 divided by 4, and that is 1 remainder 0. So again, what you do is you carry your 1, but you write down the remainder. The remainder is 0. So this is just 1. You write your 1 here. Then you have 1 plus 0, which is just 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So anytime you have any number, maybe the digits of any operation you carry out in the modulo, if it is more than the modulo itself, then you need to go, if it is more than or equal to, then you need to do the same process again that I did here. So like you can see here, 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6 is greater than 4. So what I'm going to write down is, so 6 is greater than 4. So I'm going to divide 4 in 6. That is 1 remainder 2. So you write down the remainder, that is the remainder is 2, and then you carry out the quotient. You carry 1. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. So you write down 2, and then you have 1. So this is just going to be 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. So this is basically how you do something like this. It's actually because I explained, that was why it took much time, but if you watch the video again, I'm very sure you get the concept. So answer is 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, which is this.